Well, welcome back, Burners. Tonight is one of those conversations that reminds us why this space exists in the first place. We're here for stories that don't ask permission, for voices that refuse to be softened, edited down, or made more palatable for comfort's sake, for books that challenge, unsettle, heal, and sometimes make people nervous, which is usually how you know they matter. At its core, Slowburn has always been about stories that aren't tidy, aren't comfortable, and don't ask permission to exist. Anti censorship isn't a side topic for us, it's foundational. This isn't about shock value, it's about truth, it's about curiosity, it's about pushing back against the idea that stories should only exist if they're easy to digest. So tonight we're settling in for an honest conversation, one that might get uncomfortable, might get emotional, and might wander exactly where it needs to go. So get comfortable, open your mind, and let's slow burn our way into it. So, welcome back. Hi. How are you doing?
I'm here. I'm here.
You're here. We all just
I'm
woke up
here.
Steph from a nap. So, everybody, let's just wake her up and be like, hey, hey,
Yeah. Just tucked myself in for a long winter nap.
long winter snack. The holidays are upcoming, guys. And I don't know about for you guys, but that's super stressful in my life.
I'm not ready.
So I want to talk a little bit about censorship tonight. We were gonna have a guest and I screwed up on getting the link out early enough. And I think she thought that we flaked and it's my bad and I feel awful and hopefully we can get with her because she has a
Yeah, and
great,
reschedule.
wonderful, powerful story to tell. And I
Yeah.
want her voice to be heard at whatever point we can finally get our schedules to coincide to share that story because there are so many things that she has to say that can help others in ways that are just so foundational, but also may trigger some people, right? So, this conversation tonight might be triggering to some, but I think it's a conversation that we need to have. And it's very like slow burn style to do it. So, when we talk about censorship in those challenged books, we're going to pull out like I was a librarian at one time. So, right, this is something that happens constantly. People are constantly pissed off about what other people have to say. And what tends to be center of all of that are queer identities, women's bodies and autonomy, trauma, abuse, survival, race, power, religion, and people who refuse to be likable or quiet. So
Yeah.
really, what do
I
all
mean,
those stories
everything.
have in common, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think that when we look at those, we look that they name those lived experiences, right? They complicate tidy narratives. Like we're not tying things up with this pretty little bow. And they refuse to present pain in a palatable way. Because let's be real, life isn't easy to swallow,
No,
right? And
it's
so
messy.
it's gross and it's rarely about language or content, right? It's about whose voice is allowed to exist, why we're allowed to talk about the things we're allowed to talk about, and who's in control of that voice. And why don't they want it to be heard? Why do people care what happened in Harry Potter? Why do people care what happened in Little Women? Why do people care what happened? I don't know. There's so many stupid banned books right now. My brain hurts just thinking about it.
No, yeah, and it can be anything from just, like, a couple words that end up getting a book banned or, the whole topic. And it's just yeah, it's crazy. It's just keeping all subjects in the dark, which just I mean, then what subjects are there that are okay to be brought to light? I feel like it's just those hyper religious this sounds horrible, Bible thumping
Right? I don't know.
topics, like, that are
So,
Anglo-Saxon and white. Like, that's really what it comes down to, and that's such a well, of one, it's boring. 2, like
so,
it's
I
so
just pulled up a list
one-dimensional.
of that was updated February 2025, right? So we're
Wow,
far
yeah.
off from that. Like, we're now in December 2025.
Yeah,
And so this list highlights what has been challenged or removed from schools and libraries across the US due to content addressing race, LGBTQ identities, mental health, sexuality, or social justice. Okay, so this is just a list, right? So we have the 1619 Project, 1984 by George Orwell, The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie, which is also a National Book Award winner, right? So we're like
right,
literally trashing beautiful novels.
right.
All American Boys by Brenda Keeley, All Boys Aren't Blue, George M. Johnson, and Tango Makes Three, Justin Richardson, which, oh my God, that's the cutest little penguin love story ever about the two little gay penguin men who raised the little baby. And I just love that story. And it's a picture book. And it's
Aw,
also an award winner, and there's nothing wrong with that story, and fuck everybody who says there is. Animal Farm by George Orwell. Also, I feel like people are challenging that because our life is turning into Animal Farm.
yeah,
Let's just be real.
yeah.
Um, The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. Beyond Magenta, Susan Kuklin. The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. Brave New World, Aldous Huxley. The Catcher in the Rye, J.D. Salinger. A Clockwork Orange, Anthony Burgess. The Color
Really
Purple,
good book.
Alice Walker.
Real dark,
Crank,
real good.
Ellen Hopkins. Drama, a graphic novel by Raina Telgemeier. Sorry if I said your name wrong. This was so popular in the library that I was in. So popular. I had to order new copies because it was so well loved, it would lose pages.
Aw,
And it's about, like, middle school, high school drama. Like, it's a graphic novel with about middle school, high school drama, right? Like,
that's
that's
unavoidable.
Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. Fahrenheit 451. We're going to ban books about burning books? Like, for fuck's sake.
Of course we are. Of
What is
course we are.
happening? Flamer by Mike Curato. Freckle Face Strawberry, Julianne Moore. Fun Home, Allison Betchel. Genderqueer, a memoir by Maya Kobabe. The Grapes of Wrath, John Steinbeck. The Handmaid's Tale, Margaret Atwood.
So good.
Also,
Current
I
day.
feel like that's where our life is trying to turn right now,
Yes,
right? Like, people don't
yes.
want to hear about it because that's what's happening.
Right, the reality of.
The Hate You Give, Angie Thomas. I have not read this, but
So
this is
good.
on my TBR. I hear it is one of the best books. It has won so many awards, beautiful storytelling.
What's wonderful.
I Am Jazz Jennings, Identical, Ellen Hopkins. The Kite Runner, Khalid Hosseini. That's on my bookshelf. Have I read it yet? No, but it is on my bookshelf. I
Let's
own
go.
this book. Um, Let's Talk About It, Erica Moen. Lolita, Vladimir
Ooh, so good.
Nakovic.
Also, the movie The Secretary, based off of Lolita. Just a side note.
Also, for anybody listening, I butcher names. Names are hard. I'm really sorry.
You're in good
Looking
company.
for Alaska, John Green. I like just about anything John Green writes. Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, Jesse Andrews. Melissa, previously published as George, Alex Gino. Great story about a young boy who knows that he's a female, right? Like, just that gender identity issue. 19 minutes, Jodi Picoult. I will die on a hill that this is one of the best yet hardest stories I have ever read in
Yeah,
my entire life.
yeah,
It was so unexpected. It hurt my entire soul. I think I cried through 2/3 of this entire book for
yeah.
so
That's a
many
good
reasons.
one.
For those who haven't read it, it's about a school shooting, so please, like, go into it with
Right.
that knowledge and being prepared for that. But the background knowledge of why the school shooting happened, the things that led up to it, why just so many moving parts. It was such a moving story that just made me think as a parent, as a librarian, as someone who just knows children
Yeah.
that and this is gonna sound horrible, and please nobody, like, come at us with pitchforks and, whatever else, but it's they're not always the villain, right? Like, there were things that led to that,
Right,
and
it goes deeper, right?
right?
It's not just
Like, he didn't just wake up one day and decide he was gonna shoot the whole
right,
school
it's
up,
the
like,
cries for help, right?
it was this whole it ripped out my heart in probably the best way, and it is one of those stories that I will never forget that I've read, and it is one of those books that I will recommend to people
Yeah,
in the most cautious way.
but it yeah.
I want people to know that this is a tough read, but something that makes you think so hard.
Well, and I think on subjects like children and mental health, it's something that people don't want to think about because children are these wonderful, you know, little people, but if you just ignore what's really happening,
Have
I
you
think
read
that
19?
I haven't read the whole book, no,
Okay. The ending is completely
because of
shocking.
that. Yeah,
It's not at all what you think. Um, why the shooting occurred is not at all what you think. It's also very, sad and manipulative at the same time. Like,
yeah,
it's very, yeah. So, I mean, a lot of things happen, but I also feel like Jodi Picoult writes things that
I
are
really like
just
her
rip
as an
out your
author.
soul as a
Yes,
general rule. Like,
yes.
she just writes to just, like, obliterate you. No Truth Without Ruth: The Life of Ruth Bader Ginsburg by Catherine Kroll. I don't think we should ever silence anything about our BG, honestly. I think she was a phenomenal human being, and yeah. So, let's see
She was
here. The
such a
Nowhere
loss.
Girls, Amy Reed. Of Mice and Men, John Steinbeck. Out
Such
of
a good book.
Darkness, Ashley Hope Perez. The Outsiders, S.E. Hinton. I love this book.
Which
The
I
Outsiders.
haven't read this one.
You have never read The Outsiders? Even my son read it in high school. Oh my
No,
god.
I don't think so. I don't think
I
I've
have
read it.
read it. I have seen the movie. Oh my gosh. It is such a good book. It talks about classism. It talks about I mean, the premise of it is starts with classism. We're looking at, like, the 1950s, 1960s, the popular kids versus the greasers, right? The Sharks versus the Jets, the
Yeah.
whatever. Sharks versus the Jets is West Side Story. I know that it but, like, for
No, no, I get it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Um And then we get into, like, a playground fight, and somebody ends up dead, so 2 of the have-nots end up on the run, and it is a beautiful story, like, it is one of the just oh god, it's so good, and S.E. Hinton wrote some great stories. Tex is another great story that S.E. Hinton wrote, god, I think I was in middle school when I read this one. And I feel like my son was a freshman when he read this. And then the movie is great. The movie has parts of the Brat Pack in it. Emilio Estevez, Rob Lowe,
I
Tom
don't think I've
Cruise,
even seen the movie.
all in and Patrick Swayze, all in their baby days.
No,
C.
I
Thomas
don't think
Howell.
is the movie that name the same as the book name?
Yeah. C.
Huh,
Thomas Howell and Ralph Macchio. Ralph Macchio is in it also.
no?
So good. So, so good. And I am not somebody who says that the movie is as good as the book. I will never sit there and say that the movie is as good as the book, but they did a good job with it. Like, it was good.
Maybe I read it and just didn't like I don't know. I mean, if you read it in school and your son read it in school, I don't know. What
Right.
grade?
Oh god. I was probably in 8th grade, 9th grade? I don't know. You might have to
I
read
don't
that
know.
this summer.
I know, maybe I need to, like
It's a quick read, I feel, but so good. So, so good. Mm.
okay.
Okay, continuing down the list. People Kill People, Ellen Hopkins. The Perks of Being a Wallflower, Stephen Chbosky. I have not read that one, nor have I seen the movie, but I do believe it's on my bookshelf. I have heard phenomenal things about it.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I haven't read that or seen the movie.
Red Hood by Elena K. Arnold. Sex is a Funny Word. Corey Silverberg. Slaughterhouse Five, Kurt Vonnegut. I feel like that's something we read in high school also.
Yes, yeah.
Speak, which was a National Book Award finalist by Laurie Halse Anderson. Sold by Patricia McCormick. Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison. Stamped, Racism, Anti-Racism and You by Ibram X. Kendi. 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. I have not seen this or read this, nor did I watch the Netflix documentary. We have a or documentary. It was not a documentary. It was a Netflix show. Sorry.
I was like, "Wait, hold on.
No,
I
it was
missed
a
a
Netflix show.
documentary?"
Netflix show. Sorry. It's like it's the week before Christmas and all through the house. My
Yeah,
brain is
struggle
not
buses.
stirring. So
Ooh,
we have in our family some close relationships with suicides. I tend to stay away from a lot of things that touch on that. Those are just triggers for myself and my family, and those are just storylines that when I know that it's there and it's the
right,
sole premise of the entire story,
right.
and that's something that I typically just steer clear from. I have heard wonderful things about it. I have heard, like,
But that's just you choosing those are personal boundaries, right? Like,
right, that's a personal boundary. That
yeah,
is
I
not me
think that
saying that no
that's
one should ever read it. That is not me
yeah,
saying that that voice should be silenced. That is not me
yeah,
saying that somebody could not get something beneficial
right.
from this.
It's just
That is
yeah,
my personal boundary for my mental health, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because
So,
it
like,
comes
graphic sexual assault for me, I can't.
right.
Like, it's
It's
just
just
very hard, right?
it
Like,
comes
but again, all
way too
about it,
close to home for
reading
me,
it. Yes,
right?
yeah, but it has to be put out there. Exactly.
Right. Let's see here. So another one, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I don't understand why we want to silence the voice of racism in the past because that shit happened. Like,
Yes.
no amount of saying and like closing the book down to say those things didn't happen is going to make history
No,
not exist.
but I feel like a lot of the subjects that we're talking about all are those types of things that, you know, that content that people want to stop talking about so people can turn their heads and say it didn't exist, right? Like people don't want to talk about sexual assault. I mean, but yet look at our current situation in our government where that's like coming
Right?
out and
Let's talk about politics for a minute.
right? Well, just like in I mean in every area, not it's not left or right or red or blue. It's just, being brought to light and but so is racism. Like we need to talk about it. So is suicide. So is murder, rape. We need to talk about these
And
things
I
so
think
we can
classism
figure
is still a
out.
thing, right?
Yeah, right. Oh, very much so. And like, how can we make sure that we're moving forward constantly and not taking all these steps back to continue to put people right? People and subjects and excuse me, and what's happening that is just wrong in the dark so that stuff can continue to happen rather than talking about it and taking measures to make sure it's not. And I think that that's important with every single book you've listed so far, like whether you choose to read them or not, the fact that it's a choice that you
Mhm.
are able to choose to read or not to read them in and of itself is something that
But
I
just
feel
because I
people
don't
wanna
like
take
something,
away.
right, but
Yeah,
just because I don't like something or I DNF something or I think that something is inappropriate for
right,
myself doesn't mean that it's something that someone else shouldn't read, right?
right,
Like, I'm not
right.
gonna like what everybody else likes, and that's perfectly fine, right? Like, I
But
don't
and
know.
I think that that's how we are able as humans through literature to relate to other humans, right? Is by reading these experiences, reading these challenges, these taboo topics that aren't taboo, is so we can relate to the person sitting next to us or relate to the friend who's like, "Hey, I just went through this and I need to talk about it." Because maybe we don't have that experience in our personal lives, but to have these books that open that up through eyes of others gives us that ability to relate and to say, "It's okay, I'm here for you. Let's process."
Next book on the list, sorry, Water for
No, you
Elephants by Sarah Gruen.
I've
I've read that.
heard this. Is it
It
good?
is
I have heard about it. I
it is
haven't read it.
amazing book. It is also wrapped in one of our blind date with the books. I don't know if
That's
somebody
cool.
has gotten it yet or not. But it is an amazing story about circus life, right? Like
Yeah,
back in like the early 50s, I think, like early circus life and like an affair that occurs, right? Young man, older woman, little age gap. Nothing in it that I feel like is very like, oh my God, nobody should know about this, right?
right.
Again, like, I don't feel like the woman took advantage of the young man. The young man was of age. It's not like he was under 18. He was, they're living the carny life. They're like,
Sure.
he might have been married. She might have been married. But I mean, if we're going to not talk about adultery, then let's circle back to our political scene, right? Like,
Right, right, in
um,
the scene that's trying to ban these books, right?
right.
Crazy.
Um, so, I mean, that's just that list. I'm sure there are tons more
Yeah,
lists out there.
there's I
I know, like,
looked it
The
up.
Giver's on a list, and The Giver is one of my favorite books ever in the entire world by Lois Lowry. That is, like, hands down one of
Man, I
my
love that.
absolute
The
favorite
Giver,
books ever. I will, like, die on a hill for that one as one of the
so
all-time
good.
greatest books ever in life.
Yeah.
I feel like it is the OG, like, dystopian book, right? Like, it is
Yes. No, there are PEN America documented 10,046 instances of school book bans in 2023 to 2024. That's crazy. I mean, your list was just what? Maybe 20?
yeah, maybe. I don't know. Did somebody sit there and count?
10,000. I know.
So
10,000. That's crazy.
So I guess like when they do this, right? They sit there and they say that they're like protecting people, right? And this is often used as what I would feel like is a shield, right?
Yeah,
But I
like
feel like
bullshit,
they're
but yes.
using this discomfort that they have for these topics, right? Their own
Yeah.
personal discomfort, the story that they're telling themselves. They're mislabeling it as this huge danger, right? So then when somebody is emotionally honest, it gets framed as harmful, right? Somebody is taking the time to be raw and real and emotional and talk about things that aren't that are messy, right?
Mhm.
Could happen in anybody's life, whether it's the dark romances we read, whether
Right.
it's
And do happen, right? Like, I
right.
feel like these subjects are frequent everyday occurrences, multiple occurrences in individuals' lives, you know, be it a cocktail of whatever of these subjects, but it's yeah, like, why would we ban that?
But I guess like my question is, right, when we're looking at that, who the fuck decides what's too much?
Yeah,
Like, who goes and says, "You know what? I think that this version of the story is too much for somebody to know about. I think that this discussion of a girl having her period at the age of 14 for the first time is too much to talk about. Because I can guarantee that Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret is on
One of my
somebody's
favorite.
fucking list, right?
No, it is, it is. Judy Blume was a huge author, well, period, but also one of the ones that, like, a lot of her books are constantly fought to get banned, and you're like, "Why?" Like, menstruation is going to happen, right? And
Right?
if it doesn't, then a conversation needs to be had on why that hasn't happened
That's
for that
really
little
unhealthy.
girl, right? Like, so,
Super
like, finding
unhealthy.
that, yeah, balance between what's normal, right? Versus what's not normal as a female is discovering this whole thing that happens. Like, I mean, finding out that, and as a mother of a daughter who's young and not close to that yet, that age, but to find out that it's happening younger and younger, and like fourth grade is now
It's
the
terrifying.
average grade level or age, that's crazy. Like, but I need to know
Terrifying.
those things, right?
Right.
And I just, yeah.
So this is the question I want people to like sit and mull over for a minute, right? Because we have the world of movie buffs. And I don't know
Ugh,
of, and I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, that there's like this banned movie list. Like there is this banned book list, right? And there's
yeah,
all these movies about war. And I just saw a commercial the other day where like they're hunting one guy for sport. Like everybody's trying to kill this one man, right?
right.
That's the premise of this entire fucking movie. So, at what point as a
I know.
society did we become so comfortable with fictional violence than we are with real emotional truths?
Yeah,
That we want to silence what's real, but we're okay to sit there and like fill our brains and our minds and our eyeballs with all these things that are so just as toxic and just as
right,
traumatizing and just
right.
as and I'm not dogging movies, okay? Like, don't
No,
hear me say that. Like, you wanna watch them, shoot them up, you wanna watch Halo, you wanna do whatever, fine. Like, I don't care. Watch your more war movies, watch you shoot people up, that's whatever. But I'm not judging your choice in movies, so don't judge my choice in what I'm reading,
yeah,
right? Like, why is it the book that has to be silenced
right.
versus
The movie
any
list isn't as
other?
long, right. I think it's like, I know Clockwork Orange is one, it's banned in multiple countries, but if you've read the book, you'll understand if you watch the movie. It is worth reading, it is scary, it is you because here we are talking about banning books and then also censorship of movies, and then you watch and read Clockwork Orange, and you see how they portray, like, that visual movie watching and how it can change the brain. It's anyway,
Yeah,
it is a good
right,
book to read.
right. So
Um, and then, like, Brokeback Mountain, because it addresses
so based
2.
off a book though, right? Like,
Right,
I don't think
yes,
it's just a movie. So I
yes,
think it's still we're circling back to the root of it all, which is still going back to the literature piece, not the
right.
media piece.
And it's because of
So
2, white ranchers who have this gay romance. Like,
which really is kind of bisexual because 'cause aren't they also both married and
I believe
happily
so.
so? I don't really know. I have
I
not
don't know.
watched
I
it.
watched it
Not because
when
I
it
have
came
anything
out.
against it. I don't watch
It was
movies,
20 years ago.
right?
Ugh.
Also,
That
I'm
and of
really
it. I
say
just
that.
wanna Yeah, that was hard. The 20 years ago was harder
Yeah,
than anything else.
right. But why have we decided that shielding people from certain stories is seen as some kind of kindness?
Yeah, I don't feel like it's kindness at all.
No, No,
Because then it reverses, right? You get into these small town nothing against small town America. We live
no,
in a small town.
right,
We live in a small town that's surrounded by even smaller towns, right? But then you
right.
get out into those towns and you, like, have these conversations and you're like, "You need to read a few more books."
Mhm.
I feel like that's really harmful
Because being
because 'cause they're not kind.
uncomfortable isn't harmful.
Oh,
Being uncomfortable isn't harmful, and I think that that's where you're going, right? Like, as we were
right.
talking the other day, right? Like, I'm talking to a new young man, things are great, but he is very uncomfortable talking about things that he enjoys sexually or things that he, like, but being uncomfortable is okay, right? Like,
Yeah.
being shy and awkward is okay. That's not harmful. Like,
No. How would
it's
you
not killing his psyche. It's not
No,
gonna cause him any kind of mental health deficit, right?
no,
Because
and hopefully find something
sometimes
out.
because sometimes when we're uncomfortable, it's the first step towards understanding things, right? Whether it's other people, whether it's other cultures, whether it's other systems, whether it's our own selves, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Like, I worked someplace once, and we don't talk about our work very often, and there's reasons for that, like, we like to keep our lines, right?
Yeah, we
But
have our boundaries.
right, but I worked for somebody once who told us during a staff meeting to get comfortable being uncomfortable, and that was, like, a really hard pill for people to swallow, right? Because nobody wants to be uncomfortable. Like, that's not something that anybody comes at naturally and says, "Yeah, okay, fine." Like, I'm just going to sit here and be okay with being unnaturally uncomfortable, right? And like, it came time for our like yearly reviews, and something was going on that was chaos, and I work well under chaos. That's just my life. Like, I just manage chaos well, right? And he came up to me and he was like, "Well, I would tell you that I was proud of you for being uncomfortable, but I feel like that didn't make you uncomfortable." And I was like, "Nah, we good." But it made him uncomfortable, right?
Mm.
Which gave him that opportunity to understand me a little better, right?
Which was right, which was growth for him, which is the whole
And
point
understand my
of being
job a little better,
uncomfortable.
right?
Yeah,
Because I might be like that person that you see like at the circus with like all the like things with the plates spinning, like whatever's, but like if you're not the person who can make all the plates spin without them falling, like, you don't get it.
yeah,
So, if it doesn't make you uncomfortable, then you don't understand it.
right, right, and I think that that is the part where people, if they don't understand something, it's easier for them to just want to remove it rather than getting uncomfortable and going down that rabbit hole of discovering what it is about themselves that makes them uncomfortable on that subject. What was it about you? Obviously, because he found out something about himself that made him uncomfortable. Like,
Right.
what did he like?
What
Right? So
about the
that's
chaos makes you uncomfortable, right?
yes, yes, exactly. Like,
Because 'Cause I'm
why
okay
did
with
that?
chaos, like, bring it on,
Right,
right?
right,
Like,
every day.
all the time. But you're talking about removing, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like removing the books and removing the literature and removing the words and removing the things removes the nuance. It doesn't remove the risk from people,
No. No,
right?
it's just about control, about people who don't want to be okay with the discomfort, so they just wanna remove it and control it. It's about ultimate control. Like, people who are like, "This book is about racism." That makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable because I am a white person who may or may not come from a line of individuals who were a who participated in racism, right? And that makes I'm not saying this about myself, but I'm saying hypothetically, like individuals who want to ban books about that, it's because they just don't want to accept the fact that that was something that has happened and their lineage at some point was a part of that. And it's easier to just remove that discussion and that for them, not in life, and say, "Oh, we just aren't talking about that." Like, and you're like, "Wait, what?"
But also hear me say, right? The things that make us uncomfortable. I was talking to another boss at another point in time, and we were talking about things that make us uncomfortable. And I said that one of the things that we had to remember, like when we were looking at the bigger picture of things, whereas, like, hear me say, I am not living in the lap of luxury. I live paycheck to paycheck, like 95% of the working class right now, right? Like, I also scrimp at before the next paycheck comes to make creative dinners and, whatever else, right? But oftentimes, certain clientele that we work with are in a completely different wheelhouse than us. And we have to remember that in many, many circumstances, we are considered privileged, right? And
Yes.
then there's those that are above us. And I feel like, and above isn't necessarily the right word because I don't necessarily think that somebody is above me, right? Like
Mhm.
maybe financially more secure or whatever. I feel like those are the people who are sitting there trying to silence these voices because they are so uncomfortable with these things. And then being uncomfortable, they're trying to silence the voices so that they feel better about whatever choices have happened in the past that somehow align with them in one way or the other, right? Whether it's something that happened 200 years ago from their great, 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 great granddaddy or, whatever else, right?
Right, or a family member just recently walking in the store.
Right. But like, I think what's hard is people wanting to be not wanting to feel that discomfort, right? They want this pretty little bow tied up on life. But the thing about slow burn, right, that we've always tried to be is that like we're not about shock value. We don't push one moral stance. We're not about telling people what to read, what to do, what to think, what to feel, right?
Right,
We're here to be a place for curiosity. We're here to be a place for honest conversations. We're here for a space where stories don't have to be softened to be heard. We
safe.
trust readers. We trust people to decide for themselves. We don't believe silence protects anybody, right?
No,
Because, and again, I wish our guest was here tonight because she has such a powerful story to say about trying to be silenced in the realm of trauma and things that have happened in her life, and silence protects no one.
no one.
It doesn't protect the person who did whatever was wrong. It doesn't protect the victim in that situation. It doesn't protect anyone from finding out about it. It doesn't protect your family. It doesn't protect anything or anyone or any circumstance or anything. It doesn't protect your mental health. It doesn't protect those around you.
Mm-mm.
Not talking about it just makes it fester. And so I feel like when we create these bookish spaces, right? Instead of trying to find ways to shut it down or not be uncomfortable, we need to make more room for disagreements because
And curious
not
conversation, right?
every story needs to be liked or valued by every person. Yes, I know. Every author wants to be a bestseller and on the New York Times bestseller list and all the things. And I want that for every author, especially all the indie authors we have met through and through in all of this and all the people that we're going to meet along the way. Cause I think everyone we have met is amazing and has amazing stories and
Yeah.
has wonderful things to share and are part of things, right? But letting stories exist matters more than somebody endorsing those stories, right? Somebody
Yes.
naturally picking up that story and it finding them at the right point at the right time when it's needed is so much more important. It's so much healthier. It's that kismet piece, right? Where
Mhm.
just find what you need when you need it. Because when we silence those voices, it makes it so much harder for people to have
Yeah.
that place to find their comfort when they're
Right. Right. And no one should be policing that.
right. Because the stories that get challenged are often the ones that ask us to sit with our discomfort. The language of protection is often really about control. And we're here because we believe that that conversation is safer than silence, right? So we want to sit here and we want to talk about it. We want to talk about all those banned books and we want to talk about all the things that are uncomfortable. We want to talk about why we don't want anyone to be silenced because this isn't just about banned book week. Banned book week shouldn't be 7 days, which is why we're doing this in December, not back when it's this big week for all libraries,
Right.
right? We want to talk about this when it's all the time because anti censorship isn't about being loud. It's about staying open, about trusting people, and about believing that stories, even those super messy ones, deserve that room to breathe because everything has something to say that has some type of importance to someone somewhere. And maybe circling back someday, I'll need to sit down and read 13 Reasons Why
Mhm.
to find my own closure for my own trauma,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Or finish 19 minutes.
I
Yeah.
finished. It's a great book. I think that those are things that we have to I don't know.
No, we have to be consistently open about it. It can't just be a week of recognition and then we move on because that's not our current event.
No,
It's
our
a
whole
it's
life
an
is trying to be safe and secure.
everyday battle, right? It's an everyday battle. Even in just conversations at places of employment. Like, it's an everyday battle.
But I feel
So
like everything right now, I avoid the news. I avoid social
same.
media. Sorry for anybody who follows our social media page. It's been really silent lately because we've both been avoiding social media because
Our own lives can only take so much.
it's just and it's so negative because all I feel like all they want to do is silence people, but then talk in circles.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I feel like the generation we grew up with to the generation now, right? There's so much to be said about how much I love technology and that the internet's right at my fingertips and that I have access to all of these things and I'm able to touch these things and I'm
I hate it.
able to have instant access to information at my fingertips. But at the same time, that's such a detriment to my brain to have all that instant access to all these things because it's so unhealthy sometimes. And
Yeah.
I just want to sit and scroll through food porn. Okay. I want to watch the cute guy make bread on my freaking phone. And I don't want to hear about politics. And I
Right.
don't
I just
hear about some superstar who cheated on some other
No, you're
superstar. And
right.
I just want to
I
see
wanna
what
save
dip
all the
that
crafts, all
somebody
the
made
food.
at Christmas that's going to be eaten with my graham crackers. That's,
That's it. And I wanna share it with my friends. That's all I wanna do.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Or share a litany of songs that just are appropriate for that moment. Like, that's all. That's the avoidance the my own avoidance or boundary of reality has to happen because sometimes it's just too negative. So, yeah,
I just need food porn, craft
right?
porn,
I read this
whatever.
and I read this article the other day about literature and about how reading fiction and anything in the humanities as readers of that because we consume so much, that we're able to recognize certain patterns, right, that are happening in everyday life because of the amount of fiction that we do read. And I'm not talking about nonfiction. I'm not talking about, you know, biographies and I'm talking about fiction books. And we read so much that then when we sit and we do watch the news and we do watch all these current events that are taking place, it's hard for people who do read all of that because they recognize these patterns of things that are happening within the society, and so we just shut down. We have to, after so much consumption of that, we have to shut down, and then of course we go back to reading our
Right,
books to
right,
escape the reality, which just only helps perpetuate
right.
our ability to recognize those patterns.
We're not talking about books tonight because I'm not gonna lie, everybody. I've been in like a really horrible book slump, and I think I've DNF'd like the last 4 books that I've read because like
Yes,
nothing is sticking in my brain, and I've been trying for like a week and a half to read. What
right?
have I been trying a week and a half to read? The Elf on the
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I have been reading The Frost Witch for a month because I just am
Elf on the
so
Edge. That's
saturated
what
with
I'm
life.
reading. Yeah.
Elf on
And
the
it's
Edge.
not even I don't even think it's saturated with life because, like, books are my, like, go-to to get
Oh,
out of,
no, but, like, with what
right?
has to happen, right? Like, all of the deadlines, all of the I have kids' deadlines that I have to make sure I'm meeting. I'm just exhausted.
Right.
All the holiday prep for work, for home, for I don't know, life events.
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
Like, it's crazy. It's
I'm too
crazy,
tired.
right?
And which only adds to my anxiety because I'm like, I really wanna read, but nothing is I just can't
I
stick
always
to
circle
it.
back to my ex is not necessarily one of my favorite people right now, and I don't have horrible memories of him or times with him, like, just the last couple months were not, like, our best, right? But one of the things that always sticks out to me is, like, he always told me that, like, he could tell when I wasn't reading anymore, right? Like,
Mm,
he
mm,
could tell when I was, like, in a book funk and I wasn't reading because,
yeah,
like, my entire demeanor changed. Like, I was more pessimistic. I wasn't as chatty. I was very, like he could just always tell, like, even when he moved out of town, like, he could
right.
always tell, like, when I was in a book funk
Yeah,
and, like, in a book lull. And, like, I always try to remind myself of that, that, like, I'm a completely, like, different monster if I'm not able to, like, take a little time aside, right?
yeah,
And just read a little bit to give myself some kind of a break, to disconnect from reality, to just be something, right? Like,
yes.
live in this fantasy world, whatever. Right? So, we're coming up to the end of the year. I think the next episode that's gonna air after this one is one that we pre-recorded with, a beautiful author in New Zealand. Like, she's great and wonderful. I look forward to reading her book over the holiday. So, I want you to take a minute, digest the things that you've read because here comes your favorite part of the
Damn it, I was really hoping. I was so hoping. I was like, "Oh, this has been a really, like, serious conversation. We're
I've
just
gotta
gonna
lighten
end
it
on
up
that
just a
note."
little bit for the end, right? I've gotta lighten it up for the end. Okay,
I'm so not
so
ready. Book funk
think of
Steph
the
right
books you have
here.
read this year. If one of the books that you have read this year texted you a 2 a.m. "You up" message, what book would it be?
Oh, man. Oh, man. What book would it be? Damn, I've read so many.
I know, like, that's the who is calling you at 2 a.m.?
I don't know. I feel like what's the male main character? This is because 'cause I'm in a brain funk too right now. Like, I am just shutting down. What's the male main character in the Everflame? Let me look this up because I think it would be him. And I would say that this series to talk about this as I figure out his name. This series has probably been the series that I have really enjoyed. I've had kind of at first this like hate, but then love, like roller coaster, right, with it. The book keeps getting the fourth book, fifth book keeps getting pushed back in the series. Like Pinkhole is putting like everything into this next book, and the way it was left in the series was just anyway, this one of the slowest slow burns I read all year.
Right?
And in fact, I was wearing this shirt earlier, and anyway, and I'm gonna botch the last name, but the male main character is Luther Corbeau. Yeah,
He at 2
that
a.m.
book. You Up?
You up?
Absolutely. That
Yeah.
series, that book, all of it.
I feel like mine is Drew from the Wallflower, right? Like, the
Yeah, that
Wallflower
was
was my book this year. Like,
yeah,
I feel like The Wallflower by J.L. Beck, that was my book this year, and Drew was my MMC of the year. Like, I feel like I hold him above all other morally gray, maybe even morally black. I don't know. Time with that one for Riot from The Ritual, the Lord
yeah,
series.
yeah.
Um, but
I do love Rip.
I don't feel like Riot would be the you up type, right? Like, I don't think that he's that, right? I don't think he cares because so many
Yeah.
people fall all over him because he's a
Mhm.
lord. So, and he has his chosen who's supposed to be there when he wants her to be there. So it isn't a you up. It's a like, you're coming here right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, there is no
I'm at
like,
your door.
right?
Right.
Like, you don't
Open
have
it.
a choice in this, right?
Right.
But yeah, I feel like my you up text is coming from Drew from the Wallflower.
Yeah. Yeah. Man.
So, because I don't think Rip would do it from the Pleaded Prisoner,
No, I think he would just come get you.
right? He would just steal you.
Yeah. And don't let anything stand in your way. And
And I
or
don't
his
think
way.
any of like my mafia guys
He'd
would do
fuck
it.
you up. Yeah.
And none of my hockey guys, they were all like dark hockey guys, right? They
Yeah.
put like trackers in you to find you. Like, they're not, they don't
See, and
want,
I've
they
never
know
read a
if you're
hockey
up.
romance. Maybe that's in the new year for me, is trying to read these hockey sports romance. That never did it for me, which is I don't know.
I don't know. I think hockey guys sound so hot. I can't wait to go to the boy aquarium. I feel like totally. I wish they had a New Year's Eve game. I haven't even
Yeah,
looked. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would totally spend New Year's Eve at the boy aquarium.
you're funny. Yeah, I just have never yeah, really? No. I mean, I have types, but that was never like a type.
Yeah. I've never been a sports
Chefs.
girl. I'm not gonna lie. I've never been a sports girl. I've never been anything. If you look at the type of guy that I have
Yeah,
like historically been attracted to, not that I've dated, like, let's not look at the red flags that I have actually gone home with, that I have historically been attracted to. It has been like the preppy Zach Morrises of the world, right? Like,
that's funny.
I have always been like the put together, like blonde, preppy, like that's who I was always like so attracted to, like in high school, in my early
Really?
20s. I always thought like that's what
Who
I wanted. And now that I'm
who
hitting my 40s, I'm like, give me tattooed, fucked up,
that's funny. Yeah, because I
6'3".
like college, I don't know, high school and college, there definitely was like a more of a prep. But after that, like once I got out into the world, like I
Maybe
wanted
because I was
the
always such like a
chef.
nerdy girl. I wanted the preppy, like popular guy. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
I wanted the loner, the artsy. Again, this is like after college.
Right. I mean, in high school, I did have a crush on a couple wrestlers, but
Yeah, no.
yeah.
I wanted the big guys. Like not and I'm not talking like buff, like not that this type wasn't, but, like, it wasn't in their they were up creating, right, lists of menus, or Mr. R was shaving ice sculptures for competitions, like, I don't know. That
I've
was
always wanted, and I've yet to find, right?
yeah,
Somebody super tall. Like, that's always been who I've gone for. Like,
yeah,
somebody way taller than me. Like, I don't know.
that's funny. Yeah,
Anyway, that's where we'll leave it tonight. Thank you for sitting with us on conversation that doesn't rush, doesn't smooth the edges, and doesn't pretend that stories are meant to be easy. We believe in curiosity over comfort and truth over silence, and in trusting readers to decide for themselves. And this episode stirred something in you. Sit with it, let it linger. That's often where the real work begins. Until next time, read freely, think deeply, and don't be afraid of the stories that ask more of you. Night, guys.
night.